Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a disassembly for you on this little guy. This is the Wee Knives Civivi Baklash, or Baklash, or however you want to pronounce it. Whatever it is, we're gonna take it apart. And let's go ahead and start off just by highlighting the fact that currently it is dead centered, which is good. There is no blade play. It's feeling a little gritty though, so I want to clean it up and see if there's anything going on up in there. So let's go ahead and pop this guy open. So this guy is on loan to me from Frankie and Bird over at the Birdshot IV channel on the YouTube. Civivi is it's Wee Knives' new budget brand. And, you know, I got a bazillion comments from people like, Nick, you need to check out Civivi. They're doing good work. And so, indeed, here I am. Not always going to be first to cross the line these days. God knows I barely have time to, exist, let alone to be first to cross the line for new knife reviews. But at the same time, absolutely glad to... Okay. So it's free spinning screws in the back here, but this other side is the one pushing out. Okay, so there are Chicago screws here is what I'm reading, and they are inserted on opposite sides. That's odd, but who knows. So let's go ahead and pop this guy open. I'm hoping that this will now be able to spread apart. Yeah, there we go. So we're popping things slowly apart here. There's something locked up over here that's causing me difficulties. I bet it's just a thread locker on the pivot there that's kind of maybe got the liner trapped, is my bet. Here, I'll do a little more lifting and playing here. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on, I think. All right, let's pop this off slow but sure. Right now, I'm just kind of working this back and forth with my dream, of course, being that sooner or later, it'll just slide right off of there. The other approach, and actually the approach I think I'll take, is to use, this is a Rat Bastard Knobby Tools little pry bar guy, and my goal here is not to apply much in the way of force, just to target that force in sort of an upward direction. Now I'm being very careful here because I got the blade exposed. So again, I'm just doing a little bit of light twistage here. The goal being to pop this guy, this pivot, up off of there. Come in maybe from the other side, and I'm using this little piece of cloth to shield the knife. It looks like they used way too much thread locker in there, and so that's the source of all of our pain. Or at least that's the source of some of it. That is not indeed the source, of the human condition. That's not a philosophical statement I'm making right now. But it is certainly not helping anything. That's for sure. All right, so now the backside is completely disassembled. It's just a question of getting it popped over the last of that thread locker there. Unless the pivot itself is flared out at the top. Is that? Yeah, just kind of rattling this back and forth. Again, I'm not trying to use much force here. I'm just trying to work it. Slowly but surely working it. In fact, that'd be a good memoir title for me. Slowly but surely working it. Because that's really all I can ask for in this life, is to slowly but surely work it. And ideally, enjoy some modicum of success in the process. Why are you not coming loose, you little bastard? There we go. Okay. So, hey, that's reflective. All right, awesome. Beautiful. So, what we have here is actually not unimpressive for 40 bucks. It's got these internal liners that have been polished and then anodized of some variety or another, or maybe painted, coated. I'm not a brilliant man. I don't know which. But either way, they've got some sort of a cosmetically appealing sort of thing going on up in there. And so that's neat. Otherwise, lock bar, ceramic detent ball, which is nice. I mean, overall, aside from the 15 pounds of thread locker on there, this is beautifully made. No real complaints. I mean, 42 bucks, I just keep saying that to myself, and it's just like, whoa. This is not a lot of money for this. And I get that labor is a different thing overseas, but holy crap, guys. Amazing. All right, let's pop that over there. Beautiful and beautiful. So we are more or less cleaned up here. I'll go ahead and there we go. Did I mention that this is coming to me via Frankie and the Bird over at the Birdshot IV channel? Maybe I did. Probably did. Either way, I'm going to get this guy cleaned up for him. It may be, not that it's particularly dirty now, but still. I try my best not to send, back stuff in terrible condition. I actually have used this guy a fair bit here. I had one particular day where I was just opening a ton of boxes at work, and this guy happened to be in the pocket for it, and so you can see it's got a little bit of love from the adhesives. Adhesive love. It's like tainted love, but different somehow. Oh, there. As I have puddles made, and apparently freaking alcohol drips are face revealing me too these days. It's brutal. Alas. Need one of those masks like Rorschach has in Watchmen. You see whatever face you want to see. See, that would be great. Then people look and it's like, oh my God. Why is Fyodor Dostoevsky disassembling this knife? Anyways, I digress. Looks like we got steel bearings here. And I'm just cleaning these guys off a little bit. Not that they super need it, but yeah, why not? And again, do the same thing. And I'm just kind of rolling it between my fingers here. This is a knife on bearings. You will need to do this every so often. Exactly how so often is really more a question of your usage than anything. But it's, oh, these aren't Chicago screws. It's just one side must have been thread locked in tighter than the other side. Oh, interesting. So this needs to... Yeah, okay. So I've got that tightened down now. We are ready to reassemble this guy. One thing that they are hiding very effectively, but is written on the blade there, is right here. That's right. That says 9CR18MOV. That's, or is it 19? No, it's 18. Not super impressive. It makes sense that they're hiding it, but you know what? Hey, for 40 bucks, I can live with it. All right, let's go ahead and throw everything back together here. Pivots clean. Bearing races. It's just against the liners here. We are good to go. So we're going to go ahead and put this guy back together. I've been using this knife pivot lube stuff lately. Seems to be working fine. It's a little cheaper than the nano oil I was recommending previously, so I'm going ahead and using that. Mind you, I don't find it particularly better, except maybe in washes, than the nano oil, but it is absolutely fine. All right, go ahead and drop a bearing onto there, then roll it around to distribute lubrication. Then I will, yeah, this is the approach I have to take. Go ahead and drop this onto here. There we go. No, I never lubed the pivot itself. Let's go ahead and do that. Just in case. I don't really get a strong sense as to which surfaces require the lubrication most to benefit most. I know that the tent ball can be a very helpful thing. A lot of people, for some reason, don't think about it. But that can definitely be a source of, noise if you don't lubricate that well. But again, a lot of these bearing knives can run dry, so it's at some level, it's like, what the heck am I on about? One awkward issue with this here is that the backspacer needs to go in to both sides there. Actually, that worked out fine. Wasn't particularly tricky. Now what I got to do is get the blade, or the pivot, seated into the hole on the blade there. This is... Come on. And I also need to get the stop pin seated. Maybe I need to lift it back out of the backspacer here to get everything come at this squarely. Okay, so we're in there, we're in there, we're in here. Something's maybe a little off. There we go. What I'm going to go ahead and do actually is, and by the way, this entire knife is put together using only T8 screws, which I will take any day of the week. just because that makes my life a lot easier. It's a one-driver disassembly. Is it a crucial detail? No, but it sure is a nice one when it happens, right? All right. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put the pivot into position here, and I'm mostly just using it to keep this side of things shut and locked down. Now what I'll do is go on the back side here. Since this is free spinning, I'm actually not going to use any additional thread locker. I don't need that situation right now. Something's a little off here. Oh, this back, I see. See, there's still a gap here, which means that it's not quite in alignment. So I may need to loosen the pivot a little bit here. And then pinch this shut. There we go. Okay, so now you can see there's no gap going on. And that allows me to tighten up here. And I'll go ahead and just tighten all the way up. Because why not, right? And then I will do the same thing over here. Tighten up. And now we adjust the pivot to taste. I'll go ahead and okay, right now it's way too freaking loose. Now I tighten down. No blade play, that's good. Ooh, way smoother. Way smoother. So it must have just needed some lubrication or love in there. That's so wrong. Moving along. I'm backing the pivot off just a little bit here. No play. Dead centered. Much better. It's not super fall shutty, but the blade is relatively thin and lightweight, so I can't ooh. That's pretty good. So, okay, we are all set here. Oh, that's better. Yeah, nice. Yeah, high quality action. Alrighty, so let's go on ahead and wrap it up here. I hope this is interesting to you. If you're ever interested in the tools I use to disassemble the knife, including this guy, which is a driver from Alexander Peshkov, check out my knife disassembly toolkit video where I talk about all this and more. But mostly, I hope that you all enjoyed the video and look forward to the review and have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.